this morning? Good. I wanted to start service slightly differently today in honor of all the mothers in the audience. And also in honor of anyone who has a mother in the audience. See, this is starting to sound like my lounge act. This is a song that I have been singing for the better part of 20 years. That gives you a clue as to how old I am.
23.
Yes, I started singing it when I was 3. No, it's a very lovely song from a very not well-known musical, and you'll understand why I'm singing it today. What do you give to the lady who has given all her life and love to you? What do you give to the reason you are living? I could window shop the world before I'm through. Sunrise, Mama, the moon to wear. That's not good enough, no, not good enough, not for Mama. Mama, a palace, diamonds like doorknobs, mountains of gold to spare. That's not rich enough, no, not rich enough, not for Mama. Mama, a lifetime crowded with laughter. That's not long enough, not half long enough. What can I give you that I can give you? What will your present be? Mama, young and beautiful, always young and beautiful. That's the Mama I'll always see. That's for Mama, with love from me. So, welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living. Center for Spiritual Center for Spiritual Living. Here we are on this beautiful, beautiful Sunday, Mother's Day, and it is such a joy to have you here. I want to let you know about some things that are happening here at the center. First of all, we are doing our first test today of our live streaming service. So I want to say hello to those people who have been invited to be online with us today. We have a small handful of people who are checking it out and are going to report back to us on their experience. So that's very exciting for me, since this is one of the ways that I want to expand this teaching and teach this philosophy by putting it out to the world in new ways. So testing the live stream, I'm very excited about that. So there were supposed to be postcards, and we weren't here on Friday to pick them up, but I'm going to tell you about a program that has been started by my mentor, and he's given us a special deal. It's a program called CPR, Core Prosperity Relief. Now, some of you may have seen, if you're on his list, Reverend James Mellon, you may have seen his videos that he's been sending out recently. This program starts this Wednesday, the 15th, or Tuesday. Today's the 13th. Tuesday, the 15th. Basically, the way that it works is for 30 days straight, you get on a conference call with him 15 minutes every day, and he talks to you about your prosperity consciousness. The idea is at the end of those 30 days, your entire prosperity consciousness is changed for the better. Now, what he has offered to us is normally he charges $200 to be involved in this, right? He is offering it for $20. Now, yes. So if you are interested in participating, you can let me know. Now, here's the catch. He's offering it for $20 and 10% of unexpected income that you will then tithe to this center, not to him. So he's doing it as a benefit for our center. So any unexpected income that you receive in those 30 days, you tithe 10% of that back to the center, and then we tithe 10% of that to him. See? So, say again?
5% back to him?
The agreement with him for this particular program is that 10% of what we make off of the tithes from the program goes to him.
Okay.
I'll work it out.
Okay.
She's our treasurer. She has to make sure that's very, very clearly defined, right? So yes. So you tithe 10% to the center of what you tithe of that unexpected income tithe. We tithe 10% of that back to James. So that's the way that it works. If you're interested in participating, let me know. I will tell you. I will give you all the details. I'll write them out for you on how to go and register for that. And it starts this Tuesday, the 15th. Oh, here's the other thing. There are live conference calls at 8 a.m. Pacific time, so it's nice and convenient for us. But if you are not able to be on the live conference call, they're all recorded. So you can go back and listen to it anytime during the day.
Oh.
Yes. Yes. So also, we do still have our penny drive going on. We've now started jar number 2. And yes. So if you're looking to offload all of the pennies so that we can send them back to the government and have them all melted down, please participate in the penny drive as a fundraiser for this center as well. And I'm not going to talk about the prize yet because, well, I have been talking about the prize. So we're going to do the contest and have a prize and everything, but I promise this week I will actually nail down what I'm going to do around that. And so next week I will tell you all the details, and we'll start having, sheets that you can fill out to say, this is how many pennies I think are in the jar. Wednesday, May 16th. This coming Wednesday is going to be our last meditation practice on a Wednesday. We will then take a week off, and we're going to move it to Tuesday nights and have it start at 7 p.m. on Tuesday nights. So that's meditation with Mark. That'll also be in the emails. How many of you are on our email list? Well, if you're not, you're missing out, because all of this information is on our email list, too. You can also find this information all on our website, which is being overhauled at the moment, too. So we have a whole new website that's going to be up by the end of the month. I don't mess around. Thursday, May 17th, this coming Thursday, is the first meeting of our women's group, which is being led by Helen Below. That's at 7 p.m. here. If you're interested in being a part of that, you can sign up for that in the bookstore. Also, Friday, May 25th is my installation. Tanis, would you like to talk about the installation?
Good morning. Friday, May 25th is Jonathan's installation. The ceremony is open to one and all. It is starting at 7 p.m. Yes, 7 p.m. So wear your finest duds and come on down. If you have RSVP'd for the party afterward and you know you cannot make it, can you please let us know by phone call or email, because we do have a waiting list now. So if you know you can't make it, please let us know. A number of people have also asked what's the dress code for the evening. We're saying business cash or up cash. So I'll leave that with you. All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Following that Friday, on the Sunday following that, is going to be a very special service. Our musical guest that day is going to be Charles Holt. And you have not had him here at the center before, right? Oh, are you in for a treat? He is phenomenal. He actually comes from Agape. And he's going to blow the roof off of this place, let me tell you. So do not miss that on the 27th of May. He's also doing his workshop called Finding Your Voice. That's going to start at 1:30 that Sunday as well. And all of the information on that is on our website. This Wednesday, May 16th. So this Wednesday, May 16th, is the last of 8 classes of the 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. Wednesday, May 30th, we're starting the new class, Self-Mastery. If you'd like to learn how to master yourself, this is going to be the perfect class for you. We're going to be using as the basis for that class the book, The Biology of Belief, which is available in the bookstore. So check that out. We are also still looking for volunteers for the Pride celebration, the Gay Pride, Gay, Lesbian, Transgender, Bi Pride. How many different things are we prideful about now?
Pretty much all of them.
Pretty much all of them, yeah. If you are interested in participating in our Pride booth that weekend, it is the weekend of June 30th and July 1st. You can speak with Fred, who's not here. You can sign up in the bookstore, and we will contact you and let you know how we're moving forward with that. Also, we are still collecting funds for our new video camera, which is awesome. I don't know if any of you watched it online, but the quality between the week prior and last week was pretty astounding, so I'm very happy about that. Also, if you are involved in social networking, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, please check us out and let your friends all know about this place and what we're doing and the message that we have using social networking. So, those are all of the announcements, and we're 10 minutes in. I'm going to try and shorten the announcements at some point. You know what would help that? Go on our mailing list. Because then I won't have to announce everything right at the beginning. Today is a very special Mother's Day. I'm going to tell you... Should I tell them the story about that song?
Sure.
Okay, so, not that this means anything, and it has nothing to do with this philosophy, but, so my mom turned 70 in 2009. And my sister and I had this whole ruse. So I was still working as an actor in LA, studying to be a minister, and I was doing a show right at her birthday, which is in July. And I said, Mom, I'm not going to be able to come home for your big birthday party. Because, it's 70, it's a pretty big deal, so they were having a huge birthday bash. I said, I'm not going to be able to make it home. However, when I got cast in the show that I was doing during that period, I told the producers, yes, I'm willing to do the show, I must have that weekend off. So my sister and I worked out this whole thing. I flew into Tucson, which is where I was from. I was picked up at the airport by my sister. She took me back to my sister's place, which is where the party was. I then locked myself in my sister's bedroom for hours while we were waiting for people to arrive and for my mom to arrive and everything. And my mom calls me. And so I then start having to tell her on the phone, oh yeah, so I'm getting ready for the show now, I'm backstage, and totally lying. We don't teach lying in this philosophy unless it's for a very good cause. So then I brought along with me this DVD, and I said, my sister and I worked it out so that she put the DVD in, and it's me on camera saying, so here I am, just wanted to say happy birthday and blah, 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 and I wanted to sing this really special song for you. So then I had the music start playing. And from the back hallway, I start singing live. Wow. And walked out. Not a dry eye in the house. So I have a lot of, it's a very special song for me, so thank you for indulging me and letting me sing it today. So welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living. Center for Spiritual Living. We are here. Who's here for the first time? So, welcome. Now that you know a little bit about my life story, it is a pleasure to have you here and to know that you're participating in whatever way you need to, that your consciousness is actually adding to a greater consciousness in this room, which then transcends this room and goes out into the community to create a better world for all of us. So I always ask every week, why are we here? Why do we come here on a Sunday? Any thoughts? Anyone?
To be reminded.
To be reminded. To be reminded of what, Tony?
That right where I am, right where you are, God is.
That's brilliant. Yeah. To be reminded that right where I am, right where you are, God is. God is present fully by means of each and every one of us and fully present in this room. Can you feel it? Yes. Feel this energy. Feels good to me. So we do that every week through celebration, through song, through whatever it is I'm going to say later. It's only 12 pages today. And today, I've been kind of doing, I've unwittingly done a series. And today is actually going to be the completion of that series of talks. These last 3 weeks have been a series. But before we get to that, we've got some other stuff to do. And so let's take a look on the inside front page of your songbook where it says, What We Believe. And let's read this together. And as I have said frequently, as you read this, you're now making a statement for yourself by saying, I believe. Whatever follows that Really take a look at that. Is it what you believe? And if it is, great. If it's not, great. But really be aware of what it is you do believe. Because this is a philosophy based on belief. Because your belief creates your experience. So let's read this together. I believe that the spiritual and material universe are one. I believe that whether I call it God, spirit, energy, or universal consciousness, every person, place, and thing emanates from this one creative source. I believe that spirit is an infinite, loving intelligence operating in and through all life, never separate from anyone or anything. I believe in cause and effect. I believe that it is done unto me as I believe, and as I think, so I become. I live this now, and I rejoice in it, and so it is. I live this now, and I rejoice in it. To help us live within that, I'm going to invite our reader today. We have a reading by a congregant every week, and today it is the lovely Judy who's going to be giving us our reading. I help you here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
This is a reading that comes from the Science of Mind booklet, and this is something I read a while ago that really resonated with me. Perfection is the natural order. And a quote from Lao Tzu, "Be content with what you have. Rejoice in the way things are. When you realize there is nothing lacking, the whole world belongs to you." Unquote. We are already complete. There is nothing to fix. We have everything now. These statements may seem at odds with what we are experiencing right now, but they are nevertheless true. Behind appearances is truth, and truth is eternal. Whatever may seem to be incomplete or out of place in our life experience is the result of our own limited view of things. From the larger perspective, there is perfection apparent, an intelligence at work. In his teaching, to be content with what we have, Lao Tzu is not saying to avoid changing what is your experience. Rather, he is saying to know that whatever your circumstance, you possess all that you need to elevate consciousness. Within each person is an endless treasure, an eternal gift, and a bottomless supply of good. Accept this idea, and you'll be happy and satisfied. From this acceptance of what is, you can move to an acceptance of something even greater. The soul's pathway is ever upward towards greater expression, and that progress is enhanced by a deeply felt acceptance of what is. The mental equivalent of this completeness is the essential element in the consciousness of the spiritually mature person. Attain this, and you attain everything. And the affirmation that went with it was, I am perfect, whole, and complete right now. I lack for nothing, and I use the experiences of my life to direct my inner mind to know a greater truth. I constantly expand my willingness to know, to be, and to have my good.
The beginning of that affirmation, I am perfect, whole, and complete. I am perfect, whole, and complete right here, Judy. Was it, I am perfect, whole, and complete right here?
The affirmation?
Just the beginning.
I am perfect, whole, and complete right now.
I am perfect, whole, and complete right now. I am perfect, whole, and complete right now. Let's all say that together. I am perfect, whole, and complete right now. We're not talking about the future. We're not talking about the past. Right now, you are perfect, whole, and complete. And that's all you ever need to be, is perfect, whole, and complete right now. The future will take care of itself. The past is already done. So if you felt like that wasn't the case in the past, let it go. Can't do anything about it. But what you can know is that right now, you are perfect, whole, and complete. And let that inform your future. So. Let's ground ourselves with these truths a little bit more by I'm going to invite you to take a look in your songbook at number 7 as we go into the chant. Spirit of the wind. Spirit of the wind. all things, and it is fully present right here and right now by means of each and every one of us. And so I give great thanks for this understanding and for this presence in my life, and knowing that this presence has power. And I give over to the power, knowing that by the power of the presence, my thoughts, my beliefs are created perfectly. And so my life unfolds brilliantly and easily and effortlessly. And I trust this is the truth for every single person here. And so I revel in that. I let this be the truth as I release this word, knowing it is complete. I let it be so. And together we say, and so it is. That's just affirmative prayer. Nothing wacky, right?
Well, no. Let us join together in consciousness, and as we focus our attention in this moment right here, right now, I speak these words for everyone here as we are joined by our presence here, our connection to all that is. There is one beautiful light, one life, one unity, one all there is. And I am it. I am divine. I am this beautiful being. And I am you, and you are me, and we are one, and we are it, expressing. Carried to ourselves, carried home from within. Peace flows, life flows, the practice of this teaching flows. I open to hear and feel and believe all that is good and true. And from a grateful heart, I place it into the hands of an intelligent universe to unfold as it will. I let go. And together we say, and
so it is. And so it is. Thank you very much. Ready for some music? So I asked for this song specifically this week because I love this song. And so the band obliged me and said, yes, let's do this song. Okay. All right. And so you'll know what song it is. So I'm just going to stand up here and sing backup vocals and let the band take over.
Take courage in a world full of evil.
So I'm going to talk a little bit about the song towards the end of the talk. So I always have to say something about the song, typically. But today, what I've decided is I'm going to talk about difficulty. I am going to talk about difficulty. How does that sound? Does that sound like a really good topic to talk about? How difficult life is? Ernest Holmes, in The Science of Mind, this book that we study and that I've been using as the basis for my last, well, I use it for the basis of all my talks, but really looking at the introduction to this book for the last 2 weeks, and today is the final day of the talks about the introduction. In section 4 of the introduction, he writes this: one of the great difficulties in the new order of thought is that we are likely to indulge in too much theory and too little practice. And there's the rub. You can come to Sunday service, you can come to class, you can read this book backwards and forwards, you can really engage yourself in the theory and the intellectual understanding of this philosophy, but it means nothing unless you put it into practice. It means absolutely nothing. So today, we're going to talk about putting it into practice. 2 weeks ago, when I started this series, I got really heavy-handed with the science of mind, and I talked all about the scientists, right? And how there are these intangibles within science. We talk about the intangibles within religion and within spirituality because really, God is an intangible. We talk about God, we talk about the energy of God being who and what we are. That's what we profess in this philosophy. Not every philosophy professes that. But still, within that, it's still intangible. Because you cannot comprehend the infinity of God, can you? Truly. You can say, God is infinite, God is all there is. But can you really, really understand the infinity of God? No. You know why? Because we limit ourselves in our own minds. We limit ourselves in our own minds. We actually can contemplate and we can understand the infinity of God in our own minds, but we have to be open to it. And I don't know of anybody in my life, including some very, 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 very profound ministers, who really are in touch with the infinity of God. Because God is infinite. You can't really comprehend infinite, right? It's funny, I was just downstairs, so it's funny how things pop up in front of your face. So there's this, I don't know if it's a science magazine, it's some kind of science magazine that I was looking at on my way to the washroom downstairs. And I just, right on the cover it said, here's the map of the universe. It's from 2004, so they've mapped the universe, right? And then there was the little question, little tiny words, so what's beyond the borders? Right, so we have this observable universe. Well, the universe theoretically is infinite. Well, how do you wrap your mind around that? You can't. I can't. Maybe you can. I can't. And I don't really know anybody who can. So we talk about these intangibles, the universe, the Big Bang Theory, dark matter, which I talked about. I don't know if you remember me talking about dark matter. I talked about gravity, right? So we believe these things are real. We believe in these things because we experience the effects of them. I'm always talking about change your thinking, change your life. You're changing the cause, which changes your experience. Your experience is the effects. So we experience gravity, right? Nobody's floating away right now, right? We experience it. So that is how we know that gravity exists. That's how we know, because we experience it, but we're still experiencing an effect, not the cause. We cannot go. To my knowledge, no scientist has ever found the cause of gravity. They are looking to try and discover it, but nobody's found it, right? So, dark matter. Which is still makes me laugh. So there's this problem with the mass of the universe. Scientists and physicists are all saying, well, there's not enough stuff that we can see in the universe to make up for the mass of the universe, the quantifiable mass of the universe. So they're saying, well, there must be something else. Let's call it dark matter. But nobody can see it. Nobody can prove that it exists. They're just saying, well, it must exist, right? It must exist because we see the effects of it. Again, we see the effects of it, so it must exist. And we've all been... Sometimes my typing, because I will read this as I've written it. We've all been taught that the Big Bang Theory... So CPR, James Mellon's course, is the Big Bang Theory. We've all been taught that the Big Bang Theory is the most plausible explanation for the creation of the observable universe. For the reason that we exist is because at some point there was this, they call it a Big Bang. But remember, it's still a theory, and I talked about that a couple weeks ago. So yeah, that was 2 weeks ago. So last week, I explained how Ernest Holmes describes the way this philosophy works by getting to this understanding. It works. That's basically what it comes to. It works. But I'm still speaking in the hypothetical. And so is Ernest Holmes. So the last couple of weeks I've been focused on the theory of this philosophy. And again, I will read to you one of the great difficulties in the new order of thought is that we are likely to indulge in too much theory and too little practice. So right there he calls us out. Right there on page 51 of the Science of Mind book. And it's still the introduction. It's still the introduction to the book. So how do we move beyond theory? How do we move beyond theory? How do we step into practical application of this philosophy? Because Ernest Holmes says, here's the answer. Change your thinking, change your life. That's how you move beyond. Still seems elusive, right? So today, I am going to charge you to change your thinking. So let's do this together, okay? Let's all take a breath. I want you to relax right where you are. If it's comfortable for you to close your eyes, then do so. And I want you to simply just listen to these words that I will say. There are no sick people. There are no needy people. I am neither sick nor needy, and no one else around me is sick or needy. All right, now open your eyes. So, we're done. Let's go to brunch. So I have this problem. There are still people out there who are apparently sick. There are still people out there who are apparently needy. So then I have to step back and go, oh, I'm a failure as a minister. And then I start doubting. Gee, this stuff must not work. This philosophy must not work. Because if I think it, there are no sick people, there are no needy people. Shouldn't it come true? If that's my thought, Ernest Holmes says, change your thinking, change your life. So I've changed my thinking. So I should not experience sick people. I should not experience needy people. If that's my thought. Well, he does clarify. He does clarify. Ernest Holmes, later on in that introduction, says, if we are to prove such statements to be facts in our experience, we shall be compelled to do more than announce a principle. We shall be compelled to do more than announce a principle. So I'm going to try this again. We're going to do this again. Take a breath. And if it's comfortable for you, close your eyes. And as I say this next statement, take note of where your mind goes. There are no sick people. There are no needy people. Now open your eyes. So where did your mind go? If you experienced doubt in those statements, raise your hand. And so it is. Because the underlying belief is the doubt. The underlying belief is the doubt. And so, I wasn't going to bring up Jesus today at all, but it's just coming to my mind. So what Jesus taught was, it is done unto you as you believe. And that's what Ernest Holmes really gets to. It is done unto you as you believe. And so the belief that is operating there is doubt, and so that is what you experience. So you will experience sick people. You will experience needy people. You may experience sickness yourself, if that's where your level of belief is. You may experience need yourself, if that's where your level of belief is. So, I'm not here to depress you. I'm here to help you understand that if that's where your mind is, now you know. Now you know. So what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? Now is the time that we put this into practice. You put this into practice because when you get rid of the doubt, the mind follows. The law says yes, and your experience changes. The mind is living in the conviction of your belief and does what you put into it. So to change the effects of your experience, you must convince yourself of the immutable truth. And the one immutable truth is God is all there is. That's it. There is nothing else. You remember I talk about the wall. This wall is as much God as I am and as much as you are. It has a different experience of God. Like I said a few weeks ago, I'm not really sure that the wall is self-aware as we are. It may not know that it's God, but I'm also coming at that from a limited idea of self-awareness. The wall may be very self-aware. I'm sorry that I slapped you. You must convince yourself of the truth. You must convince yourself of the truth. He uses convince so many times in the book. Ernest Holmes. When the one praying becomes convinced, the prayer will be automatically answered. When the one praying becomes convinced, the prayer will be automatically answered. Not when the one praying says the right words. When the one praying becomes convinced. The more completely the practitioner, this is another quote, the more completely the practitioner, that's you by the way, you are a practitioner whether you are a licensed practitioner or not. Because you are practicing life. So you are a practitioner. So the more completely the practitioner is convinced of the power of his own word. I'm sorry, he does use gender-specific pronouns. So just know that he means his or her. The more power the word will have. I'll read that again since I broke it up and talked about gender. The more completely convinced, no, the more, I can read. You know what, I might need to get some readers. Is that a belief? No. Wow, you got me there, didn't you? Did you hear what he said? He said, is that a belief?
You can't come next week.
So,
Says the guy with the glasses in the back.
the more completely the practitioner is convinced of the power of his own word, the more power it will have. The more power it will have, the more you are completely convinced of your word, the more power it will have. Another quote, one cannot realize healing unless one has become convinced that the perfect body is there. Faith, and that's what he's really talking about here. When you talk about being convinced, you're talking about faith. Faith in an unseen principle. And that's my brain is going somewhere. I'm going off script again. That is the rub, because that's part of the reason that this ends up being a spiritual philosophy, and we have turned it into a religion. The truth is, we're all living based on the convictions of our own mind, whether we're aware of it or not. Your life is operating exactly equal to what is going on in your mind. Faith is a mental attitude which is so convinced of its own idea that any contradiction is unthinkable and impossible. A mental attitude which is so convinced of its own idea that any contradiction is unthinkable and impossible. And I think that's why we find it so difficult sometimes to change our thinking. Because you know what precedes thinking? Belief. And belief is so convinced of its own idea that it is unshakable. And that's the way your world operates. So how do you change your belief? First, you recognize that it exists. So, for those of you who raised your hand before, now you recognize that doubt exists when I say those statements. So again, what are you going to do about it? How do you get yourself so on track and so in line with the spiritual truth that there are no sick people, there are no needy people, because the truth behind the facade, this body is a facade, the truth behind the facade is that there is no need for illness, there is no need for sickness, so the truth of me does not experience that, regardless of what's going on in my circumstantial world. How do we use it? How do we use God? How do we use the thing itself? We use it deliberately. And that's what we're studying here. We are studying to have a deliberate use of this law of cause and effect, not allowing it to use us. Now, it is not actually using us, because it does not have a will of its own separate from our own will, right? Because we have to accept as our belief and our conviction an idea for it to show up in our lives. And we accept those things consciously and unconsciously. And a lot of people live their lives unconsciously. They go about their lives, oh, my life is so horrible. Why do these things always happen to me? Why am I always the one who gets in car accidents? Why am I always, I have such bad luck. Everything always comes down upon me, right? You know those people, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody knows those people. They are so thoroughly convinced in their own minds that that is the way their life unfolds, that's the way their life unfolds. So how do we use it? How do we use it? We practice. Remember I said before, every single one of you is a practitioner, because you're practicing the use of these principles whether you are aware of it or not. We practice, and we become deliberate in our practice. We become so deliberate that when we speak, Our conversation is in heaven. Our conversation is only that which supports the understanding that God is all there is. This is an energy of love and goodness, and it is fully available to all of us. If your conversation falls just slightly shy of being in heaven, in that moment, recognize it. Catch yourself. Catch yourself. Don't beat yourself up. Because remember something I said earlier too? The past is done. The past is done. So if you have fallen off for just a moment, or if you've fallen off for several years, you have the opportunity right now to be fully present and understand that there is something greater at work by means of you. So if you fall off, make the correction that's necessary. Make the correction that's necessary. It's all done in mind. Those corrections in your mind are establishing a new belief. The new belief leads to clarity within your life. That is the conviction of your mind, and so your life unfolds. Let your words and thoughts and beliefs be expressed with expectancy, but not anxiety. Expectancy. When your belief and your thought and your word is expressed through expectancy, it is a knowing. It is an embodiment of the power of your word, the embodiment of the power of your belief. That is expectancy. If you are coming at it from anxiety, there is fear that it will not work. Because what's happening if you're in anxiety is you're not being in the present moment. You're now living in the future. You're now saying, the outcome is not going to be what I want it to be. Rather than being present in the moment in full expectancy, knowing that the power of your word, your belief, your thought will unfold perfectly. And that is why one of the other things that Ernest Holmes says is to change your experience. Treat, and this is going to be a little bit of jargon, treat until you demonstrate. Treat until you demonstrate. He's basically saying, pray until you demonstrate the principle. It is in our minds that the work happens. It is nothing that you do physically, although the prayer leads to the doing. Treat until you demonstrate. Pray until you demonstrate. When you are so thoroughly convinced through prayer that your word unfolds perfectly, then your word unfolds perfectly. But you must be convinced. And that's really how to use it. That's really how to use it. Through the power of prayer. That's how you use God. And that's all Ernest Holmes wanted. So I'm going to skip past most of the book. We've spent so much time on the introduction. I am now going to the final conclusion. And I'm going to read this entire conclusion to you. It's only this long. It's not very long. I'm going to read this in its entirety. In conclusion, what the world needs is spiritual conviction followed by spiritual experience. I would rather see a student of this science prove its principle than to have him repeat all the words of wisdom that have ever been uttered. It is far easier to teach the truth than it is to practice it. But the practice of truth is personal to each, and in the long run, no one can live our life for us. To each is given what he needs, and the gifts of heaven come alike to all. How we shall use these gifts is all that matters. To hold one's thoughts steadfastly to the constructive, to that which endures, and to the truth may not be easy in a rapidly changing world, but to the one who makes the attempt, much is guaranteed. The essence of spiritual mind healing and of all true religious philosophy is an inner realization of the presence of perfection within and around about. It is the hope of heaven, the voice of God proclaiming, I am that which thou art. Thou art that which I am. I am that which thou art. Every single week, I get up here and I look at every one of you and I say 3 words. You are God. You are God. You are God. And that's how I see you. I see your true colors shining through, regardless of what's happening in your circumstance. And that's why I wanted that song sung today. Because it is important for me to not simply be the teacher of this truth. It is important for me to practice this truth and to be a living embodiment of this truth. Because the only way that I can be truly an effective teacher of this philosophy is if I am living it myself. Because if I'm not living it myself, you will all doubt. And you'll stop showing up. Now ultimately, you know what my goal is? My goal is that we have to shut this center down because we all get it. Because we are so thoroughly convinced of our own divinity that we don't need to show up here on a Sunday anymore. That's actually my goal. Yeah, I talk about, the big center and the labyrinth and the gardens and the...
Except to party.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
And to party.
We don't need the center to party.
Oh.
Trust me, call me, I'll party. But that's the goal. That's the goal. We shouldn't need this. We shouldn't need to be reminded. But until such day as that happens, I will remind you. And that is my gift to you, to be your reminder. And so I thank you for that opportunity. And I give great thanks for you being here today, and I love you all. Namaste. I get very passionate. You should see me in class.
Oh, yeah.
You think I'm passionate on a Sunday? Oh boy. Actually, let me say that. You should see me in class. Well, we've come to the time of the service where we do our offering. And we recognize the blessings of our world, and we share those blessings with the center, with the understanding that I get up here and I say it every week, I'm not wanting you to give out of obligation. You should not give out of obligation. You need to give from your heart, and with the understanding that what you give is God. Because money is God, right? Money is not something separate. Many people have made it separate, and it has taken control of their lives because they've now said, money has power over me. That is not the truth of this philosophy, and it is not the truth of my life. Money does not have power over me, and so I attract money into my life. And you can do the same thing. You can do the same thing, but it's about being in the circulation of money. And so I give great thanks for what you offered here today in support of a greater idea and in support of what we can do in this community to help everyone understand their divinity. So as we pass the basket, we're going to sing our I Am So Blessed. I never remember which number. It's number 19 in your book. Usually we stand up and we rock it out, right? So let's do that together.
Let's get to
volume on my guitar first comes again. There we go.
There it is.
2, 3, 4.
Oh yeah. Blessing over our offering.
First and foremost, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So as we come together in this moment, in energy of life, I speak these words for everyone here when I say there is one. We are it. Divinity is within me, within every being, everything, every moment. And so with a grateful, grateful heart, I bless this offering. How blessed we are to have enough to give. May it circulate, be used wisely in the center, redistributed and multiply abundantly. For God is the true source of all abundance. And so enjoy perfect bliss. I release these offerings to do good everywhere, to expand, to grow this teaching, to bless every single person here and anyone who chooses to come to us and be part of this wonderful, wonderful center. And so I let go, I let God, and together we say, so it is.
Thank you so much. So one of my favorite things to do is to offer gratitude and to understand that gratitude is an energy that is a causative force in life. And so today I give great thanks for everyone who helped make this service possible. Setting up today, Gail and Stacy and Gary. And you know what? Linda was in here on Friday night helping set up too, so I'm going to honor Linda, who's also on camera today, sending us out to the world. So thank you, Linda. Also, our greeters today were women, Margaret Ann. Our reader, Judy, thank you so much. Perfect reading. Perfect reading. In the bookstore, Terry. Our practitioner, Helen. Dina Brega. Brilliant, beautiful words. Thank you so much. Our board members today are Susan and Tony. Bye. Also in the sound booth was Brian. And with the kids today, can you go get the kids, please? With the kids today, Cheryl and Mark. And we're going to start doing a new thing, right? So that when I start the gratitude section, the practitioner is going to go down, and then we're going to welcome the children into the room for the final part of service.
Good.
And yesterday, I will tell you, we came in, a lot of us came in and were working on a CPR class yesterday. And it was really a lot of fun. But you know, Lucy came in here while we were all down there having fun doing CPR, and Lucy came in here and cleaned. So I give great things for Lucy. So, the kids are on their way up. The kids are on their way up. I want you to simply step back for a moment and think about, I'm going to switch mics now. Step back into a contemplative place in your own mind. It's okay. It's okay. So I'm going to come on in. Welcome. Hello. Do you want to show us what we did today? Or are you going to be shy? Do you want to show us? You can come in. Okay. Zach, do you want to show us what you did today? Okay, watch out for the camera. Look at that. Isn't that lovely? That's beautiful. Zach, thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing. I am a firm believer. Oh, thank you.
Wow. Oh. You're Reverend Jonathan ahead.
Yay! Thank you. I am a firm believer that the people who will not need to come here on a Sunday are these people. That's beautiful. And the reason that I believe that is because of, because we do things like have a youth program here where we teach children and the youth about self-esteem and self-worth and help them understand who they truly are.
Humans, you can come. It's okay.
Oh, no. No. I'm not saying you can't be here. But eventually there will be no need for any of us because we will all get it, right? But like I say, until that time, it is my job to remind you. And so let's take a moment to simply relax. Relax into this present moment, recognizing that you are here. You are here. And you are God. And that this divine energy is operating through you, creating a perfect, abundant, happy life. I'm here to remind you of your magnificence, to help you awake to all the wonder that you are. I long to show you all the joy you're worthy of. I'm here to remind you how much you're truly loved. And so in that deeper understanding that love is all there is, that wisdom is all there is, that infinite intelligence is all there is, this energy, which I call God, is all there is. I stand firm with the understanding that it is who and what we are. And with this understanding, I trust in the evolution of an idea by means of each and every one of us. That this idea is moving forward in this universe, beyond the bounds of this particular room, beyond the bounds of our bodies, to a deeper idea of love, a deeper expression of love by means of each and every one of us. And it is for this idea that I am truly grateful. I am so grateful for this understanding. I am so grateful for this time when I not only remind everyone here, but everyone here reminds me of their divinity, because I see it in the faces of every single person that I encounter. And so it's with this grateful heart that I simply let this be the truth as I release this word, knowing it and is complete. I simply let it go, I let it be so. And together we say, so it is. Let's take this energy, let's take this understanding, let's take it and let's take it into our world this week. And let's celebrate that with God Makes Me Want to Sing, which is number 28 in your songbooks.
Ready?
Have fun with this one.
Oh, yeah.
This is worth standing up for.
Oh, definitely worth standing up for.
1, 2, 3, 4.